Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Welcome to UsherTalk101.com, where we talk about Usher lyrics and analyze them far too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an old song, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about 10 crime-related words. So let's begin. Suspect. The first word is suspect. Suspect as a noun. Please be careful. Not the verb form to suspect, though we can use that. Suspect and suspect have slightly different pronunciations. As a noun, suspect means a person who may or may not have committed a crime, may or may not have done something bad. To suspect someone means to be suspicious, to think they may or may not have done something. So please be careful, depending on the grammar. Suspect and suspect have different pronunciations, despite the same spelling. So, suspect. In a sentence, the suspect was seen running away from the scene. Criminal. The next expression is criminal. So a criminal is a person who is convicted of a crime. So to put that more simply, a criminal is a person who has been determined to have done something against the law. They have done something bad. It has been decided by a court of law or the governing body. So a criminal has indeed, yes, been found guilty, an expression we'll talk about later. So a criminal is someone we know has committed a crime. In a sentence, they arrested the criminal on Wednesday. Victim. The next expression is victim. Victim. A victim is a person who suffers because of a crime or because of a natural disaster. Also, we can use victims for natural disasters and for crimes. So they are innocent. They've had no reason to be affected. They're just maybe the wrong place, the wrong time. Either way, they are, well, I shouldn't say innocent, but they are the person who suffers in this situation. A victim is the person who suffers in this situation. In a sentence, the victim was an elderly woman. Guilty. So the next expression is guilty. He is guilty of blah, blah, blah crime, or he was found guilty of blah, blah, blah crime. The nuance of guilty is having done something bad. So if you are guilty of a crime, it means you have done that crime. But someone can look guilty. We can use guilty as an adjective to talk about the way someone looks. So guilty in a court or guilty in discussing a criminal case can mean he or she did the crime. He is guilty. She is guilty. However, we can't say he looks guilty or the dog looks guilty. That means that that person or that object or that animal looks like they did something bad, but we don't know for sure. So guilty means has the nuance of doing something bad. In a sentence, you look very guilty. Not guilty. Okay, so on the other hand, not guilty. Not guilty is the verdict. So verdict is the word used for decision in criminal cases. Not guilty means not doing the crime. The crime was not done by that person. So a person who is found or determined not guilty means they did not do the crime, or it's been decided that that person did not do the crime. They are not guilty. Okay, in a sentence, he was found not guilty of the crime. To plead. To plead. So to plead is similar to beg. So to plead means to humbly request something. This is the image of pleading, like your hands together, hoping very much for something, asking very humbly for something. But this is the verb that we use in court cases, in criminal cases. So we'll say, I want to plead not guilty for the crime of blah, blah, blah. So to plead means to request consideration for something. So I want to plead not guilty means I want to request you, the court, the judge, whoever, my community, you find me, you consider me not guilty. I did not do the crime. So but we use, instead of that very long expression, we say, I plead not guilty. This is a much easier way to express that situation. Of course, you can plead guilty to a crime too, in some cases. So he pled, this is past tense, to plead changes to pled. He pled guilty to the crime of manslaughter, for example. So in a sentence, the defendant pled not guilty. Murder, homicide. So the next expression, I have murder and homicide here. So murder and homicide, if you watch police shows or if you watch, movies, dramas which use like police and FBI and so on, you might have heard these words. But what's the difference? So murder and homicide are used to mean the same thing. It means killing another person with intention. So to murder someone else means to kill another person and with intention. There's a plan to do it. Homicide is the word that is used in legal terminology or in forensic. Forensic meaning analysis of bodies, analysis of like blood, for example, of bacteria. So kind of scientific analysis of a crime scene. So in those cases, in the investigation side and in the legal side, they might use the word homicide, perhaps more. You might also hear homicide in news, but in everyday conversation, murder is perhaps more common. So the defendant was convicted of murder. The defendant was found guilty of murder. In a sentence, she was found guilty of murder. Manslaughter. All right, so another expression, manslaughter. This is an interesting word. So manslaughter, you can see the word slaughter is there. So slaughter refers to killing something. We use slaughter in many cases to refer to slaughterhouses where cattle are killed, like pigs and cows, for example. So it has the image of like brutally killing. However, manslaughter refers to an accidental killing. So for example, driving in a car and just through some strange accident, maybe a person is hit by the car and they die. But there was no intention on the part of the driver. There was no plan there. It was an accident, a terrible, terrible accident. In those cases, the word manslaughter is applied, meaning an accidental death. So in a sentence, this is a case of manslaughter. Jury. The next expression is jury. Jury. You may or may not have a jury system in your country. In the US jury system, there's a jury of your peers. So peers are people in your community, people in theory who are similar to you in some way. So a jury is a group of people who makes a decision about a court case. You often have to give a presentation to a jury. So yeah, you might see these juries, that is, in movies and in TV shows about crime as well. In a sentence, the jury was divided on the case, meaning the jury did not know how to vote. Yes or no, guilty, not guilty. Judge. The next expression is judge, judge. So again, your country may or may not have something similar, but a judge is kind of, if you've watched like US crime shows or whatever, you might have seen these people. They're men and women who wear like these big black robes usually, and they sit high in courtrooms above the other people usually. We also have in the US the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is our, well, supreme meaning most high, the best, the highest level. The Supreme Court, where we have what we call justices, but those are essentially like they are judges, really. They're the highest level of judge in the US. So they have a special word, justice, but they are judges. So they make decisions based on the law, based on the legal rules of the country or of the city or of the location where you are. A judge does that. So in a sentence, the judge had a tough decision to make. Meow. Oh, that's the end. All right. So those are 10 crime-related words. I hope that those are useful for you. Keep an eye out for these, or keep an ear out for these, rather. You might hear them in TV shows and movies, in the news as well. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, if you have any questions or any comments, please make sure to leave us a message in the comment section below. Check us out at EnglishClass101.com for more good stuff. And thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words. We'll see you again soon. Bye!